Support for this podcast comes from Delmarva Power. Now you can make saving money part of your business with Delmarva Power's Energy Savings for Business program. Designed to fit every type of business, the program offers financial incentives that can cover up to 50% of the cost to upgrade to energy-efficient lighting, HVAC, and more. By using more efficient equipment, your business will save money every month on your electric bill for years to come. Learn more at delmarva.com/power savings.
This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2750, How to Create Time for Self-Care Without Feeling Guilty, by Burgan of ifitbringsyoujoy.com. And I'm Justin Malik, the guy reading to you every day of the year with permission from the authors. And with that, let's get right to another post and start optimizing your life. How to Create Time for Self-Care Without Feeling Guilty, by Burgan of ifitbringsyoujoy.com. Life can get pretty hectic. Between work, family, and all the other responsibilities, it can be tough to find time for ourselves. And when we do finally get a moment to ourselves, we often feel guilty for taking it. However, taking time for ourselves is crucial for our well-being. It helps us recharge and come back to our responsibilities with renewed energy. When you take care of yourself, you have more energy, patience, and compassion for others and yourself. Overall, this precious and necessary time is meant to give you a little breather from the stresses of life. Self-care positively affects your mind, body, and soul. Taking care of yourself does not mean neglecting your responsibilities or being lazy. Rather, it means making sure that you're physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy so you can handle the demands of everyday life. Overcoming obstacles to self-care. Do you have lots of reasons or maybe excuses for why you can't take time for self-care? You're not alone. Many people struggle to make time for themselves. Let's take a look at common obstacles and how to get around them. Number 1, I don't have enough time. Thinking you don't have enough time for self-care is a sign that you're prioritizing other things above yourself. The truth is, it's really a matter of how we choose to use our time. Self-care can be as simple as taking a few minutes to meditate, stretch, or read a book. It doesn't have to be a huge time commitment, and it's important to remember that taking care of ourselves will ultimately make us more productive and efficient in the long run. Number 2, I can't afford it. Well, good news, self-care doesn't have to be expensive. There are plenty of free or low-cost options such as going for a walk, doing yoga at home, or journaling. Number 3, I don't know how to do it. Self-care doesn't have to be complicated nor mean expensive spa days, although it can be. It can be as simple as taking a bubble bath, reading a book, or going for a walk. Self-care is different for everyone because we are all different. The key is to find what works for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Start small and experiment with different self-care activities to find what you like and what works best for you. Number 4, I'm too tired. Even more reason to take time for yourself. Self-care can actually help boost energy levels and improve sleep. Taking time for yourself can reduce stress and promote relaxation, which can lead to increased energy levels. Fitting in even 10 minutes of a consistent daily self-care activity will help make you feel better, feel less stressed, and feel more motivated to take on daily responsibilities. And number 5, I don't have anyone to do it with. And while it can be more fun to engage in self-care activities with others, it's not a requirement. You can still take care of yourself even if you're flying solo. 5 tips to take time for self-care without feeling guilty. People often prioritize work, family, and other responsibilities over self-care, which can lead to feelings of burnout and stress. But how can you carve out time in your busy schedule for self-care without feeling guilty? Number 1, shift the way you think about self-care. Now that you know the importance of self-care, give yourself permission to take time for yourself. Instead of guilt, shift your thoughts about self-care to that of well-deserved time to focus on and care for yourself. If you take care of yourself, the people you love will benefit because your mindset will be more healthy and happy to then handle other life demands. It's a win-win. stop putting energy into feeling guilty for taking time for yourself and start creating a guilt-free daily self-care routine that works for your life. As the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Number 2, prioritize self-care. Just like you would schedule a meeting or a doctor's appointment, prioritize time for yourself by scheduling it. Put it in your calendar and make it non-negotiable. This will help you to make self-care a habit and make it feel less like a selfish luxury and more like a necessity. Number 3, set boundaries. Practice saying no to things that don't align with your priorities or that are draining you. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It means you're taking care of yourself. Number 4, small chunks of time. If you can't find a whole hour for yourself, that's okay. Take 10 minutes here and there throughout the day to do something for yourself. It all adds up and you will reap some benefits. Set yourself up for success and start by aiming for at least 10 minutes of self-care 3 or 4 times per week. As you get better at finding dedicated time for yourself and as you feel the benefits, you can increase it to a daily routine. And number 5, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help and be willing to accept help. Ask your partner, family, or friends for help with tasks or responsibilities so you can have some time for yourself. Help them understand how their support will help you and ultimately also benefit them as you'll have more energy to give them. Tell them what you need. You can also team up with someone so you can support each other's self-care goals. Self-care in a nutshell. Self-care is one of those things that can easily fall by the wayside, especially when life gets busy. Yet it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. Not only does it help keep you physically and mentally healthy, it also helps you be a better version of yourself. Remember, self-care doesn't have to be expensive, time-consuming, or complicated. It's about finding what works for you and making it a priority in your life. You'll be surprised how much it can improve your life and the lives of the people around you. By shifting your mindset about self-care, along with making self-care a priority, setting boundaries, breaking it down into small chunks of time, and asking for help, you can create time for yourself without feeling guilty. So go ahead, schedule that yoga class, read that book, or enjoy a long chat with a friend. You deserve it. You just listened to the post titled, How to Create Time for Self-Care Without Feeling Guilty by Ellen Burgan of ifitbringsyoujoy.com. You know how important sleep is for your health, and that's why I'm excited to share a podcast that can help, Sleep Cove. Chris, a hypnotherapist with years of experience, provides relaxing sleep hypnosis, meditations, and bedtime stories to help you drift off. So next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling, play Sleep Cove's episodes focused on reducing anxiety or improving your confidence and experience the benefits of a good night's rest. Follow Sleep Cove on your favorite podcast platform so you can easily find it whenever you're ready to wind down and relax. Now, Stoicism has been practiced by kings, presidents, entrepreneurs, and more. And Practical Stoicism is a podcast designed to go beyond the dense texts and help newcomers get comfortable with the practical aspects of the philosophy. Listening to Practical Stoicism is an incredible way to make a habit of self-reflection and constant learning. It's a breath of fresh air and a great way to press pause on the stress of your everyday life. I really enjoy this show and think you will as well. Find Practical Stoicism on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you to Ellen. Speaking of journaling and not being expensive, there are lots of ways to journal without having to buy a journal. Something I've mentioned before is that I've tried one of those special hardcover gratitude journals, but was a bit disappointed because every single page in the book was the same, except there was a quote at the top that changed each day. But the rest was identical, basically naming a couple of things I was grateful for, and maybe something else I forget. It's a pretty expensive book, and I did finish it, but had I known what I was actually buying, I would have passed on that and just written it somewhere else, maybe even on my phone. But if you like having a workbook, well, I do have another free option for you. I'm actually mailing a physical copy of our 200-some page hardcover Optimal Living Daily Workbook or journal To anyone in the United States that sends in a relevant health-related question for my brother's podcast, Optimal Health Daily. He answers a listener's question every Friday, so that's a nice free way to get a journal too. You can email a question to health@oldpodcast.com. Super simple. Or if you're outside of the US and you send in a question, I can email you a digital version of the workbook. So there's that too. Hopefully that can come in handy for you. Again, just email a health-related relevant question to health@oldpodcast.com. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being here and listening every day. It means a lot. And I'll see you back here again tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.